Good morning, day 8. Got an early start because I got a lot of climbing today. So I started early to knock out this 17.7 so I can get through the Saguaros without a permit. And it's a beautiful morning. Cold last night, but it's warming up quick. The sun hasn't come up yet, but it's starting to peek through. And on this trip, I actually have tried a bunch of different bars. I just had a Kind bar, breakfast protein, dark chocolate cocoa. And I like my honey stingers better. I mean, these taste good. What kind of calories do they have? Doesn't matter because you're gonna lose half of them on the ground. I mean, once these things have been stuffed into your pack, and I'm, trying to make room in my pack and pushing gear around, they're crumbly to begin with. And so then when you open them, they're just a bunch of crumbs. And so you probably lose 50 calories on the ground. 210, I see it now, 210. So really, who really likes these bars are ground squirrels. Just through the process of evolution, the ground squirrels now go toward the hiker with Kind bars. At least the breakfast bar. Yeah, that's the only one I've tried. I've got a bunch of bars in here, and really I'm not really a bar person. I like Cliff bars. I can eat Cliff bars. I have for years. I don't get really tired of them, but I don't have 6 a day. I have 1 or 2 a day. And so I know a lot of hikers live on bars, but I can't live like that. Quarter to 9, not making a really good time. It's a climb. I haven't got into the real climb yet. But sun's coming up. It's getting hot, so I found some shade to have breakfast. It's time to get bare naked. Got my bare naked granola. Actually, with this, I had put some, one of my commenters told me about for my ramen, to put coconut powder in it. So now I put coconut powder in with my Nido and my breakfast, along with my freeze-dried blueberries, and it sweetens it up. But this morning it's really sweet because I've got 2 canisters of water. One has got my breakfast drink in it. The other one had Propel in it, and that's all in the water I have. So I put that in here to make my breakfast. And then I think I've showed you this in other videos. My daughter, my daughter Maggie gets me all kinds of good stuff for my trips. So I've been eating her summer sausage that she bought me, and these are like French fries, only they're just coconut. And I don't know what the brand name is. You'll find them at natural food stores. And again, I probably put it in a past video. If I remember, I'll put it on the screen. But anyway, they're really good. And, you know, I've got almonds. I throw almonds in my cereal. I just kind of throw in the whole kitchen sink. As long as it tastes good, puts gas in the tank, that's all that matters. So this is going to be a quick stop for me. This is Grass Shack Campground. So if you have a permit coming through the Saguaro, this is a great place to stay. It kind of breaks that mileage up, and you kind of get that approach out of the way. Because from here up to Manning Camp, it's like 400 miles and it's a real grunt. You're going to start climbing now. And then you're not done yet. You still have to do some climbing before you hit the downstroke. And so if you can get your mileage right, which isn't always possible, and have a permit, plan on staying here. You got water. This is a trail crew camp. I just ran into them back about a mile or so. In fact, I entertained them. The first thing I said was, you're probably wondering why I called you all here today. And then I tripped on a step that they were working on. And in front of that step was like 3 or 4 feet of mud. It looked like a pig trough. And my poles were flailing and I was doing pirouettes, about 3 of them, because I didn't want to land in that mud, especially with an audience. So after about 3 rotations, I did land on my butt, but not in the mud. So also, you know, I got up at dark 30 at the mile 130 and some change at the gate, and I've got to make it 17.7 to the next gate because I don't have a permit. But this is a great place to stop and dry my tent out. It was frosty this morning and wet insides, a lot of condensation. I just, you know, I walked until dark, and it, you know, wasn't the best place to really camp. But when you hike like I do with your headlamp a lot, you get what you can find. Take what you get. So starting to run into some snow, but this is the south side of the mountain. It'll be worse on the north side. I want to get through today while the snow is still soft. If I had to stay up here, this is all going to be hard snow in the morning. I'm at Manning Camp, but the climbing isn't over yet. I still have another 1.5 miles of climbing before I hit the downstroke, but won't be long. So if you start next month, a lot of the snow will be gone, maybe all of it. Trail's going to be harder to find going this way on the north side here, but I know this trail pretty well, and I've got my gut hook, my bar out. But if you get up here and there's no snow, there may be no water either, and there is a pond right around the hill here. I don't know if you're allowed to use it or not, but if you're thirsty, maybe your last act of civil disobedience will save you. So the Arizona Trail in here is really poorly marked, always has been. I don't know if the Park Service won't let them put AZC signs. I mean, there's one stuck on this post right behind me, but doesn't tell you which way to go at this junction. So if you don't have your far out or a map, you're probably not going to know which way to go right here. It's that way, but could be that way. A lot of tracks are going that way. So you're just going to have to, in the snow too, you got to watch for trail sign, you know, or maybe some deadfalls falling over the trail and they've cut the log, you know, that they cut that for some reason. That must be what the trail is. Or you come to a gully, you know the trail's not going to go into the gully and come up the other side. It's going to follow it to the end of the fjord, make a hairpin turn and come down the other side. So there are some markers in the trees here for some old trail, but I've seen very few AZT signs. So I'm at the high point, about 8,600 feet. It's downhill from here, and that's what I mean. That's probably maybe the third sign that I've seen on a tree since I left the cabin. And I just happened to look around to see that at this junction. So you got to keep your eyes open. Okay, I've had enough snow for one day. We're going down there and sleep. It looks kind of sunny. So this is the gate I'm looking for. So it took me just shy of 12 hours to walk that 17.7 through the park. And this last bit's been really hairy. I mean, I've been racing to get out of this snow tonight. I'm not done with it yet, but it's really icy on this side. So I've had a couple bad falls, and I'm just being really cautious and hope that just at least a mile ahead I'll be completely out of this stuff. Anyway, catch you later. Been following these tracks for about a half hour. I'd like to see this guy. Okay, we're flipping the lid on day 8. Still got a few miles to get down to camp, but I'm pretty much out of the snow. By tomorrow morning you won't get down that mountain until that snow softens up again. As soon as that sun started to drop, it just got cold, and you could, instead of post holing, I was sliding.